So now understanding various aspects of IL power calculation in adults, I will be talking about IL power calculation in pediatric cataract, which is quite untouched until now. Now in pediatric cataract surgery, IL power calculation is one of the major components which help us to uh, uh, fulfill our goal of visual rehabilitation at early age. Now, the problems which are still not solved in this pediatric age group is what should be our post-op target refraction. Like in adult, you cannot keep them immetropic because it is constantly growing eye. And second thing, which IL power formula should be used? There are a lot of newer formula for adult, but is there any need of specifically designed IL power formula for pediatric? These questions are still not answered properly. Moreover, the challenges which need to overcome is accurate measurement. Keratometry and axial length, this all measurements are taken by the equipment are intended and calibrated for adult eye. Second thing, in young age, these measurements are taken under anesthesia where I cannot fix it. So ocular alignment is not possible. So this all lead to inaccurate measurement of keratometry and axial length. I prefer to take keratometry with handheld autokeratometer. We have NIDER and it requires a lot of skill and experience to get the proper reading which should be reliable. But in cases where you don't have provision of handheld autokeratometer, there is enough literature data which provides you different corneal reading at different age group, which you can take as an empirical data. Axial length is taken either with emergent method or contact method. And as my colleague Dr. Nishant has correctly said, like an adult, in pediatric, emergent technique always gives reliable reading than contact method. Now, other important factor which influence the IL power in this pediatric age group is axial length, for which we need to understand the dynamics of ocular growth. Now, in the process of immetropization, as the axial length increases, there is a myopic refraction. In normal eye, this myopic refraction is compensated by change in crystalline lens power. As you all know, the globular lens become flat, 34 diopter become 18 diopter. So this myopic refraction will be compensated. But after cataract surgery, that is either aphakia or pseudophakia, this myopic refraction will not be compensated. So in later stage, they will end up in myopic shift. This is very important factor which we all need to keep in mind. So age remains a very important factor to determine the rate of axial growth. In normal eye, axial length is around 17 to 18 millimeter, and axial length grows rapidly in first 2 years of life. As you can see, in 2 to 3 years, axial length from 17 to 18 to reach to 20 to 21 millimeter, and it continues to grow until second decade of life. Now, what is the rate of axial growth after congenital cataract surgery? From the literature, it has been proved rate of axial growth is higher in child below 1 year. In aphakia, it is more than pseudophakia, and visual axis obscuration does not affect rate of axial growth. Now, the most important question comes, what should be our post-op target refraction? Like an adult, one cannot implant fixed power IOL because this is constantly growing eye. So, we need to undercorrect. Now, how much undercorrection should be done at which age is a main consensus. This is mainly important to understand in children below 5 years and more importantly below 3 years. Now, if you keep them near immetropia, they will have less amblyopia, but in future they will end up in severe myopia, which will make them visually handicapped. On the other hand, if you undercorrect too much, they will end up in high hypermetropia, which will cause amblyopia and which defeat our purpose of visual rehabilitation. So what I think while calculating IOL power, I need to undercorrect this infant or toddler in such a way that when he or she goes to school at around 5 years, he should have mild hypermetropic to myopic refraction so that he can manage his school activities, all other activities with spectacles. And more importantly, it will also maintain its own self-esteem. So finally, IOL calculation undercorrection depends on age of child. Younger the age, more the undercorrection. Axial length, that means either child is myopic from the childhood or there is family history of myopia. We need to anticipate myopic shift at later stage and we need to undercorrect more. And in unilateral cataract, I undercorrect much. I don't undercorrect much because there is already preset amblyopia. There are several nomograms in the literature, which is a good way to start. But ultimately, you need to use your own clinical judgment and experience. Like Jahan et al. Has given IOL power according to axial length. Plager and Trivedi and Wilson has suggested IOL power according to post-op refractive goal. With our vast experience, we have created our own nomogram for undercorrecting IOL power, and on validating this nomogram, we were quite satisfied as 70 to 75% of time our prediction error was within 2 diopter from our target, which is quite acceptable for these children. Now the other question, which IOL power formula should be used? We have several options as in adult eye, whether we can use Holladay 1, Holladay 2, Hoffer Q and blah blah blah. But the main important question, whether we should use this only adult formula. These are specifically designed for adult eye. They are not very accurate in young eyes. But ultimately, these young eyes will grow in proportionate to adult eye. So it is better to use this adult formula rather than use that specifically designed pediatric formula. Personalization of A constant, of course, you all are favoring in adult, but in pediatric it is not possible because of unreliable measurement, and you need to have sufficient number to derive this A constant. You need to have 30 number at least. Now when you finish with 30 number, other IOL will come in the market. Sorry, all your help and work will go waste. To get some answer, we have conducted a study at our center where we have found out accuracy of 4 commonly found used formula that are Holladay 1, Hoffer Q, Holladay 2 and SRKT formula. We have also personalized lens constant as we have that Holladay consultant software with the manufactured lens constant. Our main age group was below 2 years, and on result we found out SRKT and then Holladay 2 gives more reliable result. On personalization of A constant does not make any significant difference. So what we conclude on what we use SRKT and Holladay 2 formula in pediatric eyes, and personalization of lens constant does not improve anything. On literature review, in recent IATS study, Vanderwen et al. Has found Holladay 1 formula is better in children. Here the age group was below 7 months. And second, Rupal Trivedi et al. Has found Holladay 2 as a reliable formula. So in nutshell, for pediatric cataract, you need to have proper biometry assessment. One need to keep in mind about ocular growth, and SRKT and Holladay formula works better in this pediatric eye. Thank you.